All right, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking or Shalonda, and we are going to go ahead and read through First Corinthians still, right? Because I was supposed to get back into this, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot going on. Other things have been brought up to the surface that I feel like I need to tackle, especially when it comes to the whole Esther and Vashti complex. And again, seeing it in this so-called parallel universe where the spiritual realm is here and present, and there's many different layers, right, and textures and things that go with it. So again, have been pulled into that force field of Esther and Vashti, um, and Asa Harris. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not looking at it right now. But I still wanted to go into this, and for some reason, I feel like it kind of correlates because I think that this part of Corinthians is just talking about like a wisdom type of approach to things, which again is helping me then go over into that aspect of the whole thing, right? And then seeing like different communions or courtships or divine masculine feminine energy intertwining, soulmates, twin flames, celestial twins, and so on. And again, us being the ones we were waiting for, and also carrying the spirits and the energy of those who have already come, right? So again, when we're talking about the OGs or the old gods, right? Versus new, okay? We talk a lot about idols, right? Or false portions of, and then the originals, right? The ones that actually really hold the power and the juice, right? As opposed to the ones that are monitoring or copying or surveilling in order to take that true essence from those particular individuals and place them into people that would be more beneficial for a false kingdom of God, right? So it wouldn't be the original reign or the true bloods, right? Also taking things like when we think about so-called slavery, and taking things, again, the essence and the children and the wombs and the eggs and the of those individuals, that really hold it down, and using them as pawns to sit still while others, again, advance off of their energy, their influence, their positions of power. Okay, so again, not to say that the others don't have powers. Again, we are all gifted. We have, some people are highly some people are tapped in, some people are not. Some people are highly aspected, and some people are perceived to be that way. Okay, so again, it's just the way that things work. So for us to see if we are going into a true kingdom of so-called God, or if we're going into another idolatrous image of that or perception of that, which is going to lead us right down the same road that we've come down several times before. And again, of course, those with that type of true sight, seers, oracles, and things like that are going to be oppressed. Their information is going to be cataloged, and again, they're going to be able to use it with other individuals in order to advance, right? Okay. And not to say that it doesn't make anybody, it doesn't mean anybody's life is not valued more than nobody else's, like I see it. But there are some people that are more, when we're talking about like highbrow or high society, and then again those that are in certain positions. But again, do we let outward appearance, and do we let other things, as if what's comfortable for society, reign and rule over what is true because of whatever reason? Like, and this is the thing that I'm saying. Okay. All right. So I think we ended off here. So it said, lest any say that I have, and we're going to go in the King James Version today, and this is still 1 Corinthians 1, but this is just the second portion of it. And it says, I baptize also the household of Stephanias. Besides, I know not whether I baptize any other. Okay? Now, that's funny how this says this. I know not whether I baptize any others. Now, if we're talking about baptizing as a physical thing and not something spiritual, or not something of a different light, okay, or astral, right, or celestial, or again those things that are going on in different realms, stages, or different again a lot to do with we're asleep. I think really it a lot, and I'm gonna find a word that we can use here for it. Okay, in the dream world. Okay. Hmm. Right? Again, where things can be bound and contracted, and by using hypnosis and by using visuals and music sometimes, and things like this in order to alter things in that realm, right? Or even the people want to say different dimensions, right? The 3D, 5D, or whatever. Okay, so um, so yeah. So again, it says so to know whether or not baptized. Now, if we're talking about baptizing somebody in water, because again, cleaning in water, Washington being Washington, George Washington, also, like I said, the name also, just because it's family ties through here that we just not realizing of where these people actually got their power from, right? Okay. And I know because names are knocked off the end of people's identity or names, that sometimes we just see them as who they are, but where did they, it's hard to explain. So we won't even go into that because that's not where we're trying to go today. All right. So again, is it true that you got your name from the slave master, or did these people get their name from you? Is it true, right, that the sharecroppers got their uh, title and their land grabbing abilities from those who originally owned the land when it was being broken up and sold off or given away? Okay. And then other hosts being put on there that were paid to do the things that, again, they were doing on that land. And then after a certain amount of time, right, a couple generations, the land turned from the original owners of indigenous people, right, into the hands of those sharecroppers. So it was a little bit deeper, I feel, than what we are seeing or what has been portrayed. Okay, it's always about the switching, the overthrow, the switching over, right? Consuming, eating. Okay. But again, so if we're talking about baptizing with water, how could you not remember? How could you not remember? See, and that's the thing. Because I don't think that we're talking about that. Now, let's think about this when we're talking about this whole twin or divine masculine feminine, and there's other oh, that's going to irritate me. I forgot about that. The light keeps going out and I need to change the time. But where was I going with this? Okay, so again, I wanted to look up baptized real quick because I haven't really, and usually when you do, you can find something. I don't know. It's just something that does something with the words for me. Administer baptism to. Okay. To administer the rite of baptism to. Okay. Let's see. Immerse or dip in water. Be over one's head. To be soaked in wine. Again, this energy is giving me what I'm telling you. Okay, so now it's bringing me back to, I've done a video on this, and you know what? Forget it. I'm just so mad that I have to take the stuff down. So we'll do it like this. So we already did something on baptizing, and then dipping in water, and then seeing how Washington also means to wash or make it clean, or make it some dilute, even water something down, right? So again, when we're talking about bloodlines in third generation and to wipe out the color out of, individuals. So again, dipping in water, it makes me think, like I said, you're going to have to be dipped in water in order to move on to that level, right? So again, the water also reminds me of maritime law, okay? And maritime families and being of the sea, right? A family that's of the sea and land. this is how it happened, right? They took those of the land and dipped them in water, meaning your bloodline had to go through that dual nature of the so-called, when it came to the, I don't even want to use, we'll say mammy concept, so you can just wrap your head around it quick, okay? When she was actually the queen or the empress, the one on the throne, which is why the wife of the master didn't like her, or the lord or the overseer or whatever, didn't really like her that much, because she knew that she was the true pearl or the essence of that family. She was the true matriarch of that family, okay? Prior to this, the joining of those forces, right? It's just once they were dipped in water, those children went off, especially when we're talking about Virginia and things, because most of the president's families, I think, came from there. And, you know, and I guess that just stems from something else that might be a little bit deeper, too, when we go to, oh, man, I just can't stand. Okay, maybe I'm just going to do something else with the videos. I don't know. We're going to have to think of something to do to try to limit, you know, people from coming in and taking information, right? So, right. So that part is basically saying, you know, that those lighter versions, even with the families, like I said, when it came to the Carolinas, with my family, they separated the darker groups. I think Atlanta, Alabama, I think some in Texas and Florida. And then again, when it came to the Carolinas, the more lighter versions, you know, of individuals were placed there. And then, you know what I'm saying, maybe going even more up north into Maryland and things like that would be the lighter complex of. And so again, if we think about that high society back then in the 1800s and even before that, the what is that? When it comes to British or colonies or whatnot, okay? So again, having name changes as well, right? Because I found some ancestor named Mary, and I think she passed away, I think like at 120 years old or something like that. So again, the story is our story, right? This is just, I mean, it just is. So let's see. So when we're talking about this baptizing or dipping in water, okay, I think that this has to do with, symbolically, we're really talking about going in with courtship with, again, those of the sea, okay? So in order to be somebody, whether it's just your courtship and then you're investing in or giving birth to nations, and by the time, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have, like I said, that so-called white portion, just to make this easy for people to see, and the so-called African American, right, or Indian portion. Also, figuratively, be over one's head, okay? So again, being over somebody's head, okay? Now, even we talk about the staff or phallus, I mean, again, we've done a detailed video on this channel. I'm not going to go all the way into that. It is what it is. People can think what they want to think. And again, you can still have that religious aspect and act like this book don't have nothing to do with, again, sorcery sometimes, rituals, lies, deception, when it comes to different types of acts that were being done. Even sometimes, you know, like I said, it has to do with stuff we don't want to talk about, which is the truth. Pedophilia, because, okay, right? So in order for us to see what this is and move forward and make sure that this is not happening again and to cleanse this thing, then again, we'll have to see what it really was at some points in time. Why did they think these things were okay? What's going on? Is it us that's tripping, or is it this text? Right? And so again, we're going along with the flow of some of this stuff because we're not getting the true understanding and essence of what we're talking about here. Okay? So again, and then also that whole part of being over someone's head. Like Lilith didn't want to go up under, you know what I'm saying? They say, or whatever. um, right? Um, it makes it seem like she was being some kind of way or difficult, right? When she knew who she was in her Empress energy. And again, like I always say, I believe it's supposed to be side by side. That's just my perception, because she would have been, again, the true, some of these people would have been the true royal of this land, but it been defeated and overrun by, again, those who came in through the waters, because that was the whole thing about dominance and control and power. Okay. All right. And if she don't want to act right, then we'll get somebody else up in here that doesn't have that power. We have what we need. We already got what we need from there. Right. And we're dealing with ancient aliens and that energy. They can access your temple or your body or your mind or your capital or your dome, right? Whatever has something to do with you, they can still access it. So why buy the cow? We can just steal, is what I feel like we're seeing here in some of this text. So again, to be soaked in wine. Wine also is blood. So, we don't even have to get all the way deep into detail here as to what we're talking about. Because now it's... So again, that's why I'm careful when I'm using that term blessed. Because it also means smeared in blood. So if God is giving blessings, and we're talking about a different kind of act here, and people are, again, dipping something in blood, I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about. I mean, I know, but I'm just going to let y'all figure it out. Again, I'm never here to tell you what it is, what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me. Okay? So again, to be soaked in wine makes me think about even bread being soaked in wine. Loaves of bread soaked in wine. But not on bread alone, but every word that cometh out of the mouth of God or a goddess. So if there's some of you that feel like there is a monitoring, surveilling energy around you, right? Or in another realm, things may be going on, like courtships and different types of investments and different types of communing and different types of acts that are done in the dark. What we're doing is just bringing them to the surface. Why Source has me doing it, I don't know. What they're going to call it is demonic or devil something, but it's just the truth. Okay. Even dye, color. You know what I'm saying? So after, you see what I'm saying? After white bread is dipped in red blood, kind of reminded me of even the red and white that's in the flag. Because the red does represent the earth in a sense, right? And then the water would be the blue, and then the air being the white. Air, hair, air, like blowing wind, or air, like, like a, lineage or bloodline. Excuse me, that was so nasty. But it's all right. It happens. It's truth, right? Okay? So, again, to dip or to sink. So, again. All right. All right. All right, so again, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about baptized. So again, this is what the word means from 13th century, 11th century. Goes on and on. You can do it on your, look at it on your own. But now we have a better understanding as to what we're talking about when we're talking about some baptizing. So again, when this person said, lest any should say that I have baptized in my own name, okay? That even in my own name makes me think about in surname or own family. I don't know. Okay? And I baptize also the household of Stephanias. Besides, I know not whether I baptize any other. So again, how would you know not if you baptize any other unless we're talking about something that's going on in another realm? Another realm. Or again, if someone is asleep or put under a tranquil state. We need to know these things because you're going through these things, and nobody in the church is going to tell you the things like the way that we're talking about the things here in order to be able to protect yourself. Because there is some high stuff going on here when it comes to work, hypnosis, a lot of these things. Okay? So, let's see. So again, it says the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. All right? So again, we're talking about that cross. Because it says, in one portion of the Bible that Jesus was hung from a tree. Which make me think about the hangman for some reason. The tarot card. Again, Christ's crucifixion. Let's see, a stake, cross, which criminals were impaled or hanged. So again, they're saying that I guess that this Jesus or this Christ was a criminal. So again, how do you, and even if we're talking about Jesus and we say Jesus might be the male aspect of this, but when you have Yeshua Christ or Jesus Christ together, it is I feel a energy of coming together as one. Okay, two individuals, two energies, two frequencies, two bloodlines, two nationalities, two whatever coming together. A divine masculine and feminine aspect coming together. And that union is going to bring something forth. Okay? But you notice that throughout the text, you'll see Jesus, the word Jesus or name Jesus alone lots of times. But really pay attention to what you're seeing when the name is alone, when it's Jesus Christ, when it's Christ Jesus. Just notice the energy around that when those different terms are thrown around. Because again, it wouldn't, if it means something different, because if it didn't, they would not even have swapped it around like that. You know what I'm saying? It would have just been the same way throughout the text because we're not talking about the same thing. These are different aspects of that. Torture, trouble, misery. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine today? Like I said, if you're somebody that's targeted, an individual that's targeted in every aspect of your life, you can't move, and people look at you as if that makes you worthless or stagnant. Sometimes I say it as source, just keeping you a hold of you real quick so you can do certain things. But again, when we talk about if it's God, which God, right? The one that wants to let his children get the heads up on you. You know what I'm saying? Right? Okay? So I'm just saying that energy is there, and they have the power, even looking like you and me, right? Being in our community as if they're there to help, right? But in all aspects of it, what is really going on behind the scenes? Someone is getting a head up or over on someone, right? And the whole groups will join together and share a purse and get together to come against the royal heir, to come against Christ. And we see Christ is knocked off of Jesus in several portions of the text. Because Christ, again, is that real divine energy that's supposed to be linked with. But again, when we talk about these women, they're either used for this or that. They're maimed to be something or difficult or, whatever in the biblical text. When now I see that there were games being played. Rather, it was by the people that were involved or unknowingly. There was things going on behind the scenes that made it difficult, hard, or even impossible for those types of unions to occur. Okay? It just is what it is. However way it goes. I'm just talking in general and non-biased. I'm just trying to bring it to that middle something again so you can just see it and do what you think, how you want to think about it. Okay? So again, we also talk about the right hand with fingers. Okay, let's see. So again, we get the gist of it. Okay, all right. We could go through this, and I just always want to, and that's the bad part. But we found what part we needed to go ahead and relay this to. Okay, so again, while they were crucifying. Okay. And then also the cross means to travel across or pass over, right? Okay. So again, this is what I'm saying. If you hold somebody down just enough, hold them underwater just enough so you to be able to pass over. Like again, I know you're gonna think what you think about the word, and I'm gonna think what I think about, and that's why this channel is this channel, and anybody else's platform is theirs. Okay. Or again, meet at a point. Okay. Hinder, to prevent the efforts, plan, or desire. Just like the video we just did yesterday about, like I said, all of these things as far as media, politics, and all these things are being used. Even like I said, when it comes to people in our community, are being used to hinder, to ruin, to crucify your own damn people. Get mad if you won't. It is what the fuck it is at the end of the day. Ain't nobody even mad. I'm just like, dude, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of refraining myself. It is what it is. It just is what it is. Only person I can be mad at is myself for, again, limiting myself. And I guess just enough time for, again, what does it say? To hinder and prevent the efforts, plans, and desires. So then they can cross over or pass over. So again, we talk about wrath. Like I say, in this life, I don't want nothing that ain't mine. I don't want nothing that don't want me. And that's just is what it is. I can let some shit go quick. You understand? It's just the way I've been built. If it ain't for me, it ain't for me. And I ain't trying to take it from nobody. If it is, I'm coming. So I'm very glad that I went down the path I did, because again, we talking spiritual and we talking the physical. I prepare for the spiritual more than the physical. And that's why I feel like, even though, like I said, it's not you're not necessarily seeing these people coming to you, they're coming to you. They're tapping into your energy when you're asleep, when you're whatever, to pull resources and energy. To cover or extend over an area or a time period. So again, the reason why if we look at it in a symbolic manner, the reason why they were in Afghanistan was to prevent something. So again, with the spiritual aspect is going on here in the Americas, in the true Holy Land, the perceived notion is what you see and you perceive that they're showing you through imagery when it comes to media. All right, trace a line through or across. Breed animals, plants using parents of different races and varieties. What I said is what I'm saying. So you can just read between the lines right there. As to the unknown. Have they said anything else about that alien invasion? So-called alien invasion? All right. So again, when we think about water, we also think about different mythological or ancient groups. Um, again, if those people don't die, then where are they now? We're talking about just like even the nations that are found underneath the waters here in America, Atlantean, the Tartarian, I mean, it's just many different aspects. Okay. Okay. So again, so the way that somebody cannot know if they baptize or dip their bread in wine or water. Would have to be something that's happening on a different level or a different scale. I don't think we know really much about the mind and how it works at all. And how some of us are even being given access to tap into or to see inside of the mind, not even the physical, in another dimension of somebody else's stuff. I mean, it is amazing when you sit here and think about it. And again, most people are just going to call it what they're going to call it because they have been educated. They can't even fathom because these people, they're not allowed, right? They may hear you talk about it. They can't wrap their head around it, so they'll call it crazy when it is what it is because they can't wrap their head around it. But they know what it is because I'm pretty sure they have an insight on those things that go on. We already know. You say, oh, God to use somebody. Yeah, you say it in that sense when it comes to getting a new car, a new house, a new job or something like that. But when somebody tell you that I'm sitting in front of you, it don't matter if it's somebody on the media or not, right? That's why I don't cancel out anything. When it comes to, again, those that are in the heavens or in the elevated statuses, and when it comes to the merchants and the priesthood and the, you know what I'm saying, or those other elevated statuses in society, right? And we don't know. We don't have the history of our ancestors communing in with, or again, mating or connecting with angelic beings in a sense. But you see it in Enoch, right? You see it in different portions of the text. If you really read between the lines, even in the biblical text, the connection. So we can't even get through this. Let's just try. But I'm just saying, all right? For Christ sent me not to baptize, right? So again, this is how you, like I said, may not know about some of these baptisms, because we're talking about something totally different than what you think it is, a swimming pool or an ocean of water. No. We're talking about, that's why I haven't been working like that for a very long time, right? So again, somebody may, in a religious aspect, they're going to see it one way. In real life and in the spiritual realm, we're going to see it for what it is. So have you ever heard, like, again, somebody in like a certain, in a divine masculine feminine community, when it comes to readers and seers and things like that, those that are gifted, right? And again, like I told y'all, some just have intel on you because they work for governing forces or other forces in order to, again, deceive, right? So there's always going to be the real in everything that you do, every aspect of this. There's going to be the real, and there's going to be the ones that are guided. There's going to be no guidance, is gifted, is natural to you, and then there's going to be the ones that do have guidance or insight on a situation when it comes to copycat monitoring or spying energy Mm-hmm. All right. And those people that's going through it are going to know exactly what we're talking about. But have you ever heard a reader speaking on something and you're thinking like, that man, that sounds exactly what's going on with me and this and that and that, but I haven't been on no dates because again, you're not connected, or you're not able to see, or maybe you've been affected, or a portion of your crown had been taken, right? So again, or your corona, right? Okay, may be taken, and so, or damaged, or bound, or defiled, right? And so again, you may not be able to be aware of those particular things, or maybe just in general we're not, but other people can see, right? So that's why using another vessel for a message or deliver a message, I'm saying it is what it is. So it might be something like you hear in music. It may be something that you see on social, you know what I'm saying? But these people are saying exactly what's going on in the biblical text, but with different terms. They're saying exactly what's going on in biblical text at that time when you feel the energy, when you see that storyline playing out right in front of you when it comes to your life or even others. That's just, it's just a way. Mm. For Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. All right? So this is separating the fact. All right? So again, I don't know why I was thinking about mating season or something, right? Okay. That, I guess, yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So, oh, we thinking dis-ease. Mm. All right. So again, to cleanse, right? In that light, right? So, okay, a physical aspect of it. As opposed to the words, okay? Not with words, not with wisdom of words, okay? So again, or that might diminish, again, what's going on with the Christ energy. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolish, okay? But unto us which are saved, it is the power of God. Mm. Okay. Okay, when it's something that, yeah, that we just gonna leave there. That's for the people that know. Okay? All right. All right. And the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? Right? So that's y'all coming up in here, right? That's y'all, that's them erasing the true essence, right? From platforms, from being seen or perceived, right? Because their whole thing has been built, their whole concept in yours also, right? If you haven't dropped what you learned already or what you've been educated with, right? What we're doing right now in our true full essence and power is knocking down all what they thought they knew. And can't you tell and see? Can't you tell and see enough that what's going to happen is they're going to come back around with this mental illness complex, with this masking of, covering the mouth of. So again, the nothing can't spread. But what is the nothing but the breath? What is the nothing but the roar? Of Sekhmet, or the mother energy. But no, nobody's listening. You know, because that power is in possession of God, which is, when you look at those prayer hands, I don't know what you see. Yoni, that darkness. For it is written, I will destroy. Okay, we did that already. All right. So again, so what's going on is what they've taught you for so long, generation after generation, is becoming nothing. Just like when you leave high school, probably a year later, you done forgot almost everything you learned throughout the whole course of school, and don't need to do nothing but count money, and unless you specialize in something and you go off into college to get trained for that or something. That's what you. So I don't even understand. Like I said, high school should be college in my eyes. It should be where they go to learn a skill or a trade and get them moving with life right after that. That's just my opinion. All right. But no, more time, more money. Right? So again, after wiping out things, or even you being put under a spell or some kind of something to, like I just did, take down all my stuff. So it's easy for people to say, where is this, where is that? But hey, you was acting like you didn't see it when I was putting it. You was acting like there was no acknowledgement when I put it. So again, giveth and taketh away. If he can give it, or we can give it, we can take it away. But they knew that. So this is why the surveilling monitor energy is there to continue on, to pay attention to what you're doing. If you're not giving it, if you're not just willing to be something that can just give, lay down and just let everybody take everything from you. And when it comes to females, you gonna give it to another motherfucker? And we wonder what's wrong with the religious aspect of things. And when it comes to men and these other things that's going on, because it's funny, we're just talking a lot about, what we're being told or what we perceive of the Muslim groups about masking. But again, it's just still also is talking about shutting women up, putting a covering over your mouth. And then that way others can act as though they are bringing the juice or they got the goods. And package up a pretty thing and place it, which is, again, dress it and place it and, again, idolize it or worship it. It's almost like cleansing it. But I say, if it's just for cleansing, then how come it is not done in the dark the same way it was when they got it dirty? Because you know what? And I'm not even going to say dirty, but, and again, some kind of way catching some kind of dis-ease. But when we talk about trees and we find out we talk about family trees, and then God told certain people that he had something that was special just for him, leave it alone. That's mine. It's in this midst of the garden. You can't touch it. And what did they do? Touched it anyway. This awakening kind of feels as though a tree. Just pretend you're a tree, which we are. Even when we're talking about stumps, it's very interesting. Even when it's almost like as if this tree is so wise, that life-giving tree, that Hathor, that tree that been there from the beginning. Even they put her face, they put it on a post or a podium that looked like the tree, a trunk of a tree. Because if you do that, it's almost like somebody that's so protective over their seed, right? Even we're talking about that mothering energy when it comes to Ra and Hathor, or the eye, and her being like